Repair your credit like the pros. Chapter 4. What the credit bureaus don't want you to know. If the credit bureaus had their way, you would believe exactly what they tell you. No questions asked. But please don't fall into their trap. Chances are your credit report contains one or more errors, and those errors are negatively impacting your life. Check out these stats revealed by a study conducted by the National Association of State Public Interest Research Groups. 79% of all credit reports contain some type of error. 54% contain inaccurate personal information, such as a misspelled name, incorrect date of birth, wrong social security number, or out-of-date address. For example, one man's business partner was listed on his report as his spouse. 30% listed paid off and closed accounts as being opened. This can either hurt or help your score, depending on whether the account was paid perfectly or had late payments. 22% had the same loan listed twice. This skews the debt to income ratio against you. Even worse, if there are duplicate late payments, your score is penalized twice. Included in the packet of letters is one you can use to have a duplicate account removed. %8 omitted a major credit card, loan, or mortgage that would have provided positive credit and boosted the person's score if it had been included. This is an outrage. Can you imagine if the work you did contained errors 79% of the time? How fast would you be put on step 1, step 2, and then booted out the door? So why are the credit bureaus making so many errors on our credit files? Is it because about 30,000 data entry clerks process 4.5 billion pieces of credit information each and every month? If there is a 1% error factor, that would result in 45 million errors per month. Wow. The reason it is so important for you to know this information is so that you have the confidence to challenge the accuracy of your own credit report. You need to understand that you are not doing anything weird or uncalled for when you challenge their accuracy. The law steps in. With so many errors penalizing innocent people, the U.S. government was forced to step in and enact laws to protect its citizens. So you see, the intent of the law is to protect you, not to force you into keeping the negative information set in stone. From now till kingdom come. Here are some highlights that you should know. If there's an error, the negative information must be deleted. If it cannot be proven or verified, the negative information must be deleted. If grace or pardon is extended by the creditor, the negative information must be deleted. If a creditor wants to keep you as a customer and they think it will make you happy and encourage you to continue to do business with their company, the negative information may be deleted. So yes, it is legal. Understandably, the credit bureaus don't like people disputing their records. It costs them money to hire employees to handle all these disputes. According to their own published information, they seem to want you to believe all negative accounts must be reported on your credit report for 7 years. But that's not true. The truth is that late payments can or may be reported for 7 years, not must be reported. The truth is that accounts don't have to be reported at all. Some companies choose to not report to the credit bureaus because it is voluntary, not mandatory. And because it costs them money to report, funny how some people try to say it's the law that your late payment had to be reported. It doesn't. Dirty little secret. People with low credit scores have their credit pulled on average 17 times, compared with just one time for the people with good credit. For every credit pulled, the bureaus make money. Is it any wonder why they're happy to keep your scores low? It's a little known fact. Another exasperating fact is that some of the credit disputes are outsourced to third world countries where labor is cheaper. So here's the scene. A young person in India who has never been to the US or had an account in the US is reading your dispute and deciding your fate. Here he makes a judgment call, and who's to know if it is correct? I mean, how much could they possibly know about the American credit system or about your personal situation? It gets worse. Another outrage is that the United States, the bureaus hire inexperienced employees at minimum wage to handle disputes. And then they put the employees under tremendous pressure to process a certain number of dispute letters per hour and per day. This means they are forced to make a quick decision if they want to keep their jobs. These people don't have experience, critical acumen, mature judgment, or the time to properly research your account. They whip through your request as fast as they can. And then it's like, next. If you'd like to read more about this, Bob Sullivan has thoroughly documented these practices in his excellent book titled Your Evil Twin: Behind the Identity Theft Epidemic. Wiley and Sons publication. For example, on page 98, Sullivan writes, one representative at Experian explained in a deposition that when she began working at the firm, agents were required to handle 62 calls per day. But within a couple of years, the quotas had increased to 100 complaint calls per day, leaving them only an average of 3 to 4 minutes per call. The quotas were strictly enforced, and representatives were told they could lose their jobs for failing to handle an adequate number of calls. During training, customer service representatives were specifically taught to mistrust consumers. Moreover, one customer service representative explained that Experian's call center would block an individual's number who called too many times. Important point: keep a copy of your letters you send, just in case you need them in a court of law, or to refer to it later. Avoid using the telephone for credit bureau disputes, except in super simple, one-time cases. Why do they keep your address hidden? Or why do they keep their address hidden? If you ever tried finding a mailing address on the official website owned by the credit bureaus, annualcreditreport.com, you've discovered that there is no address posted. They are pushing everyone to order online. And the reason is not for your convenience. The three bureaus have 3 different post office box numbers, and they change their P.O. box numbers from time to time. This delays people's attempts at disputing, because a good number of letters get sent back to the senders. To order your reports, use the address in Chapter 2 to dispute an item. Use the address of the credit bureau on your credit report. Coming up next, the ads by the non-profit credit counseling groups who pretend to be on your side are deceiving. This information you'll want to pass on to your friends and family so they don't get tricked.